Elon Musk. He recently said that Tesla is considering building its electric semi-truck in its German plant. Of course, that is near Berlin. How do you view the competitive landscape? Of course, Tesla, it's aiming at producing a truck at roughly the same price as a diesel engine truck on your end. So how are you viewing that?
I would say there, first of all, two things wrong in that statement, and I respect Elon Musk, but number one, the truck he presented to the markets in the United States, unfortunately, is too long for Europe, so he needs to redesign that truck, and I haven't seen any design from Europe. Secondly, to sell a truck at the same price as a diesel truck, in my opinion, is even for Tesla a little bit a push. I haven't seen that in their pricing in the United States. He wants to sell in the United States since years tons of electric trucks, and he hasn't done it. In fact, we outsold him, I would say, a factor of 15 to 1 in California in 2023. So I welcome competition, and I'm looking forward to see him in Europe.
Today, we're in Washington, D.C., and behind me is one of the most famous hotels in Washington, D.C., called the Willard Hotel. We're focused today in an interesting extension of our dialogue about chaos in Europe based on the arrival of the Teslasemi. This is Greg for Teslafaninsight. Thanks once again for joining us. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're a repeat visitor, welcome back. We also want to thank our Patreon supporters. If you're interested in better ideas on investing and trading, please join us on Patreon, along with early looks of our shows. So, I also wanted to note directly behind me is the Navy Memorial, and you can go down this area here to have more access to that space. So, I chose to do a rapid succession extra show about this because, as you know, Elon actually came out and announced that he's actually taking orders for the Teslasemi throughout the world. I was surprised to hear this, so I ended up having to do some research and talking with folks inside and outside Tesla, and learned that some interesting developments have occurred. Number one, it was assumed that only 5 or 10 vehicles were being produced on a weekly or monthly basis from the custom factory that was built in Reno, Nevada for producing the Semi. We've now been informed that Tesla's producing somewhere between 100 and 1,000 vehicles a month, and that production allowed Tesla to quickly run through vehicles purchased sort of in the early test phase for a lot of customers. So as a result, for example, Pepsi went from its 38 vehicles that it initially got to its full complement of 100 vehicles that it ordered, and there are now vehicles being turned over to other buyers, including DHL, Walmart, and other companies. So it's our understanding that what's happened now is that, if you'll notice the video that we've chosen to include, it's now shots of the Teslasemi being visited by both customers and the folks that work for the Tesla Gigafactory in Berlin, in or near Berlin, we should say. So as a result, between the appearance in Berlin and appearing at a trade show in Hanover, Germany, Tesla is now taking orders for the Semi, and expected delivery is sometime, at least for test fleets, in the next 6 months, and full heavy-duty production of these vehicles to occur, as we've discussed at the beginning of 26. So this is actually huge news. As I shared, this whole process would be fairly disruptive to the 4 major truck producers in Germany, obviously Volvo in Sweden, MAN, and others. Once this new competition arrives and those orders start being made, we're going to see the number of vehicles sold by all of those competitors and especially Daimler, because they have the most to lose. As you'll notice in the opening clip here, the folks at Daimler were really proud of the fact that they've outsold Teslasemi in the greater California area at a rate of 10-1. Now that Tesla's ready to go to production, I don't think that's going to be occurring anymore. There's one other piece of data here that one might want to make a note of, and that is that because of Tesla's focus on manufacturing prowess, we have a situation where Tesla can, with about 3 days of time, go from no production to scale production of any vehicle that it makes, including the Semi. The one difference with the Semi is it's likely to take about 5 minutes per vehicle, whereas it takes something like 30 to 50 seconds for the production of the regular automobiles. Nonetheless, this makes it clear that at any of the current plants, Tesla can begin producing the Semi for those that have ordered them. So my first reaction when I heard Elon's comment on X was that if you have a backlog of vehicles relative to the orders that you already had, and there was a 7-year delay, it would be difficult then for them to deliver on their production goals. But there's a very different situation when you're working to be prepared to manufacture and arriving at scale production capabilities that all these brand new factories gives Tesla going forward. So as you can see, we predicted that the Semi in particular would create chaos, all over the world where large makes are producing trucks, especially in Europe. And so the chaos that we're referencing is the fact that both the manufacturer of these trucks and their supply chain have to face up to new competition from the Tesla vehicles. Tesla's biggest competitor, obviously, is Daimler trucks, because they control 45% of the market. But as you know, Tesla is really targeting the long-haul, heaviest 80,000 pound weight vehicles, and the lower, class 6 and class 7 vehicles are not the focus of the type of vehicles Tesla is planning to produce, unless we're looking long-term at that size. So for now, what the chaos means then is there may be some job losses from the largest manufacturers of trucks throughout the globe as Tesla starts showing up in those places in the hands of customers brand new. What we've seen, and I think we're going to see more of, is what you've observed here, which is the places like California, for example, and I would think Germany, have a lot of subsidies that are being offered to help defray the cost of these more expensive electric battery-driven vehicles. But it's clear that the EU and places like Germany are kind of putting their money where their mouth is. I will say, as you probably know, that Germany actually is in a position where they've cut subsidies for electric vehicles, but the issue of what's going on with the Teslasemi and the pollution associated with those large semis is a priority for the entire EU. So we look forward to keeping an eye on this for you and updating as we know how this is going to play out. Tesla has a lot of domestic current customers in the form of DHL, as you know, FedEx, UPS, and others that it's providing vehicles to, and those entities are likely to extend that Tesla relationship to their European fleets to meet the emission goals that they might have. So here comes the chaos we discussed, and it'll be interesting to watch how it plays out, because Tesla is moving the heaviest loads and doing so at 500 miles of range, where competitors are lifting lighter loads and are only able to offer 300 miles of range. So the chaos shows up in many ways, but mostly in the form of losing customers because those entities cannot meet the competitive threat of Tesla. So thanks for taking time out to join us in this dialogue. Wanted to note to you our health tip today will be an add-on to our show, and it discusses different walking techniques that'll be helpful to your health. And just a reminder, if you're 25 leg lifts a day, strengthen quad muscles, reduce knee issues, and also encouraging you to go to sleep and wake same time every day to ensure you're developing a circadian rhythm that's a healthy one. So behind us, we have what's called the Willard Hotel. This hotel dates back in its initial phase from the 1750s. One of its most famous attributes is that the White House is just to the north of the hotel, and in the 1850s there was a fire in the White House. So they actually moved the cabinet to the top floors of this hotel. And as the Civil War was brewing, the decision was made to move the Capitol or the White House staff to the top of this building. And if you wanted to do with the business with the government prior to the Civil War, they would say, "Meet me in the lobby," hence the term lobbyist. So one more peek at the Willard Hotel here and where the cabinet was at the time. If you come to this hotel, make a point of going to the bar on the first floor and take a look at the bill that was charged to Lincoln just before his inaugural entry into the White House. And we're going to take a quick look around here. Again, this is the Navy Memorial. Behind us, we have an image of General Pershing from World War II's command, and a large number of other memorials in the area. At any rate, once again, thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and bye for now.